Yeah, looking good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Rico Brouwer from the Pirate Party in the Netherlands, talking to Marketa Gregorova from the Pirate Party in Czechia about your elections last weekend and your win. Congratulations.
Yay, thank you.
So,
And hello, everyone.
how's that?
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello
Also,
everyone. There you go. So, first question is did you sleep already between the weekend and now, or?
yeah, but not much, as we had a lot of negotiations already, and of course, kind of a party. So, not much, but yeah, I did. But it's exhausting and not yet finished. So,
So, what's still to happen then?
I'm actually from Brno. It's the second largest city in the Czech Republic, and as in all of the other cities where we succeeded somehow, now we need to discuss with other parties potential coalitions. You know, who will be in coalition, who will be in opposition, and stuff like that. And especially in Brno, it's looking really, you know, that some parties are already interconnected and we are kind of omitted, so we try to get in to the coalition. We'll see. Prague
Yeah,
is it even worse.
yeah, so you were already elected in your national parliament last time around, but for you in the city where you live, that's new. You guys entering there new, or were you there already?
Actually, we were already there in the local city council, but with another party or another movement. 4 years ago, we joined them, and they actually helped us to get there 2 people. And nowadays, we were going solo, and we succeeded getting there 6 people. So it's actually 3 times more than before in a coalition. So we are glad.
So how does that work in your country? Because the elections were October 5th and 6th or something. Was it over 2 days? How does that work? Or did I catch that wrong?
Well, I know it's kind of strange, but we're used to that. It's like that because some people can't get from work on Friday and have time only on weekends, and some people don't have time on weekends, or they might have some shifts or something like that. So we have actually oh, sorry, someone was calling me. So no, sorry. Technical problems. So we have 2 days, and it works like that. You have in each city or even a village where there's a local council, you have a paper full of the parties or movements that are running. They have like as many candidates as there are positions in the council. For example, in Brno, it was 55 people are
Yeah.
in the council. So we have 55 candidates, our party, and all the parties have 55 or less candidates. And the citizens can either vote, they can vote in 3 different methods. Either they can cross the whole party, we get 55 votes, and it's done, or they can cross the whole party and then choose other people from other parties. So if they choose, for example, 2 friends from another party,
Yeah.
we get 3 people, and the 2 are from somewhere else. Or you can mix it completely on your own and choose the 55 people without choosing a specific party. It's
Okay.
kind of complicated.
Yeah.
A lot of people to vote.
Okay. All right. So, and this was municipal, so local city councils, and at the same time your senate. So that was the same weekend also, right?
Yep. Not all the regions have their senate elections. We have senate for 6 years, and it's always voted in thirds. So
Okay.
some districts, for example, mine did, are voting each 2 years.
Oh, excellent.
A proportional part of the senate.
Yeah, the Netherlands did something similar back in the day, and now it's just once every 4 years. Okay. All right. So I know next to nothing about your country. Sorry about that. Haven't been there also. How would you describe the political climate in your country if you look at the rest of European Union?
Well, the political climate is that one really big populistic party, it's called ANO, with its leader Andrej Babiš, that is called Czech Berlusconi, so that you know what we are talking about, is still leading the polls and everything. Even though in Prague we actually defeated them. So in Prague it was a huge success because like on the national level they are the strongest, and we are like second or sometimes third, but now second. So it was a huge success, but otherwise in the whole country they won. And yeah, it's a question how to solve it. But I think that even though in our national elections last year, an extremist parties or one specific party has been fourth, which is kind of strong position for a extremist party. They lost a lot in these municipal elections. So I think we are following a good trend because pirates are going stronger and the populistic and extremist parties were kind of defeated in these municipal elections. So I hope that people are realizing that their promises are, you know, just cheap, and that they won't really deliver anything, and that they are working only with fear.
So yeah, two questions come to mind. First about Prague, where you won actually from that populist party. So is that?
So, yeah, we are above them, but we are actually second.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, you beat them at least, but you weren't the biggest. Okay, I get you. The question being that sometimes in a big city like New York or also Amsterdam, and maybe it's all over the place like that, that's where more progressive people tend to have bigger parties than in the countryside. Is that the same with Prague?
Yeah, definitely. Prague is the most progressive, as always, and the countryside, and even actually Brno and smaller cities, but still big, are voting quite differently from Prague. You know, because it's city liberals are strongest in the main cities, I guess, and capitals. So it's really visible. Actually, the top party is conservative, but like standard, or you know, not a new populist party or something like that. It's standard conservatives, but otherwise the next like several parties under them, including us, are pretty much city liberals, sometimes even close to socialists. So yeah, that's really different from the rest of the country.
Okay, and the second question that came to mind when you talked about how you're growing bigger than the conservatives or the populists or the promises that drive on fear, as you mentioned it. So did you grow and did they decline because you're showing yourselves to be an alternative? Look, oh, there's the alternative. There's actually something else, so we can vote them like pirates. Or is it that people have been watching that hollow promise for a couple of years and figured out that there was no promise, and then they went looking elsewhere? So what made you guys grow compared to them?
Well, I think that the good thing about our growth, and also part of the answer, is that we grew through evolution, not revolution. We exist as a lot of parties, pirate parties, for 9 years already, and we weren't really successful in the beginning, of course, like in the first 6 years, 7 years. But we actually got some attention, and then we, through to good people on the local levels, we actually got into some municipal councils, and we did there a good job. And then we got into the municipal council in Prague, only in opposition, but still, they did there a great job, and we could, base on that our national elections campaign, and show everyone that, we have results. You see, we are not some punks that will destroy everything. We are actually building new things and developing, and we are for new technologies and 21st century, the pirates. And because we had such good people that were a good example on the local levels, we then could show people on the national level that we are doing a good job. Then we got 22 MPs, as you know, last year, and then we could grow constantly based on that, because we are also doing a good job in the parliament. Well, in my opinion, but obviously even in the opinion of voters, because they are still voting for us.
Yeah. So the win in your elections last weekend was also a reward, if you might call it that, for what those 22 people and the people in the municipals have been doing for the last couple of years, showing how you deliver on your program, rather than how the other more populist parties deliver on a hollow promise, which is actually remains hollow. So you got to show them what you do. That's the difference then.
Yeah.
Now, the pirates, it's not so charming an example, but I'm going to make it anyway. So pirates in Germany a couple of years back grew also massively in a short time, and looking back on that, you could say they might have not been up to that task so quickly, and then that declined also. How did you manage to stay professional as a team and not end up I don't know, breaking up again or fighting amongst each other, which is also a typical pirate behavior?
Well, it's a hard question, but I think it has several layers. First, we have, of course, that's something that a lot of pirate parties has, but I think the Germans actually don't have something like that. An online forum where we are actually discussing everything from, campaign to daily basis stuff and administrative. New members can present themselves there, and of course change of statutes and stuff like that. And we can discuss it beforehand. It's online, so everyone can participate. And if someone doesn't like something, they can transparently and openly tell it to everyone. And if it's valid, it gets a response always, or most of the time, I hope. I think we are a really working swarm or something like that. And I think that online forum is helping us a lot. Of course, as the campaign started to be, or the need for a more professional campaign started to emerge, a lot of people kind of transferred to another channels, I'm sorry to say that, but Facebook, for example. I'm ashamed, but yeah, and a lot of people transferred, to closed groups on Facebook and stuff like that. And we were really afraid that will actually break us, because no one knew what's happening, and a lot of people were angry because of that. And sometimes something was discussed and decided in a closed group, and no one else has worked in it, even though it applied to him, for example. So we actually, after the national elections last year, we created something like an upgrade team, consisting of few older members, even new members, paid people that worked on the campaign, and one person from the business sector who already work on upgrading companies. Of course, party is something else, but we explained it to him, and we just needed some professional. And this team put from all the people from the party representing various, directions and ideas. We're working on the best restructuralization and upgrade of the party. And there's a lot of work to do, but they already made some good steps, like helping, our board to transfer their administrative stuff to another person, so that the board has time to solve, the bigger issues and really focus. Or that the heads of our departments, we have several, departments. I'm head of the international one. So that they really talk to each other. We are meeting actually online and in person each 2 weeks. So it's really working. And even though this sounds like something natural, we actually didn't do it before that. And it opened our eyes, and we are still progressing more. And the upgrading team, even though it's existing for a year already, is still working. It's still upgrading us. And I think that helped us a lot, because everyone felt like they are represented through this upgrade team. It wasn't just a common blubbering on the online forum or something like that.
No, it's, if I summarize, or in my words, what you just said is you took a more business-like, professional approach from the start, looking at the campaign. Would that be the summarization?
Yeah. We hired some professionals even for the campaign, but we still tried to, and did, include as many people, that are more from the idealistic wing. I'm one of them, for example.
Yeah, well, that's an issue all over the place also, because you need, I don't know how that works in your country, but you need to be on Facebook if you want to access the people that get to vote and who are only on if you want them to show your program and what you're made of, then you have to be in their bubble as well, but you wouldn't want to go there, so you ended up doing that anyway. You were on Facebook in this campaign.
Yeah, but that's a problem that we are trying to solve, and we are creating new systems on which everyone would work, and we would not ban, of course, but we would say this is an official system. Whatever you say on Facebook in some closed group, we don't care, nothing will be decided there. You can, of course, discuss it, but the decisions will be happening on our official system.
Yeah, that's what we do also. You create it on your own platforms, but then you're okay with copying that over to other channels if that's where people are. That works. Yeah.
Well, I hope that once we have a really good, efficient system, because the forum is really obsolete, so that people will really transfer from Facebook or move, because Facebook is already, falling down, I think. So
people are walking away there anyway. Yeah, that's true. Okay, cool. So one of the things in your campaign that I noticed, compared to what I've seen here, and also your website, is that you're using your faces and the people that are running the campaign. So it's also a personal campaign, which is also sometimes a matter of debate within Pirate Party. Do you want to have your front runner be a face and a person that you can relate to, or do you want to stay away from promoting people as leaders or what have you? So how did you deal with that?
Yeah, you saw it correctly. We dealt with that like that. We are really trying to promote people, and well, we kind of overslept this one, because we kind of promoted only one person. You probably know Ivan Bartoš, our party leader, or maybe you've seen him somewhere. He's like the most known pirate right now in the Czech Republic, and thus, even if the topic isn't relevant to his, expertise, everyone is asking him to deliver. Media are asking him, or people, to answer their questions, which we think is bad, because we need to, present to people even new faces and our experts and our pirates and people, and it can't be just Ivan, even though Ivan is great. It's nothing against him, but even he doesn't like this setup. So we are trying to promote them as much as possible, and we know it has been our problem that we didn't do it before. So now we are working on it even more. We are trying to present all the faces, and if you saw, the shift on our Facebook, if you went through our Facebook, you would see that like a year ago it was all Ivan, sometimes someone else, and nowadays it's, well, you won't see Ivan's face that much. It would be like 20% and 80% is some other people, which I think is great, and I hope that media will reflect it soon.
Well, especially since this is municipal, so you have lots of people that are now elected, rather than Ivan, who was already elected and is just doing now national parliament, I presume.
Exactly.
All right. So, what would be your biggest recommendation to countries such as my own and all the other ones in Europe? What should we learn from the example that you guys are setting with this election? You're heroes now.
Well, I will kinda talk, about the national elections, because that's where it all started, and they're now kind of working with what we already have, which isn't applicable right now to other parties that much. So, well, I think that's one of the biggest problems for pirates, or there are two problems that pirates have. Either nobody knows we exist, or second, if they know we exist, they have a misconception of what we represent. They usually just think we are against copyright, maybe for legalization, and that's like it. And nobody really knows what we stand for. That was actually a huge issue, because when we first started and we were into the parliament, everyone was crazy, and people were calling and going to our MPs and were asking what do you want? What is your stance? We know nothing about you. Who are you? They didn't know anything about pirate politics. And we are in a bubble, all of us, of course. So you might think, or a lot of pirates in various countries think that, of course, people know who we are. Well, you have to count on that they don't, and work with that. So we focused our campaign on these 2 points. First, we showed everyone through, some even kind of controversial moves that we exist. And when we have the media attention, we presented, that was actually a funny thing, the first program point we presented were finances, because we found out that if you are talking about economics and finances, people think you are a serious person and politician, and that they can trust you, So, and it actually worked. They suddenly were like, wow, they are a relevant party when they have a program on finances. And sorry, and then we presented all the other program points, and environment, agriculture, all this stuff that people, well, they don't really understand it sometimes, but they deem it important that the party has an opinion on it. And that's how we made ourselves relevant in the eyes of all the voters and citizens. And then I think the rest actually did that. We are pirates, and I mean that. I know this will sound strange, but I think that we really represent great politics and ideology, not left nor right, but forward, and that people really reflect that, because when they started to think about us and read our program, they were like, wow, that's actually a really good program, because we do have a great program. are great. Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying it somehow comprehensively. But I think that would be my advice. Be visible, professionalize yourself, or make yourself relevant, not professionalize, but, and then it might come itself, actually.
I read an interview with Ivan earlier this year, and one of the things that I read there was there's a difference between Sweden and also obviously the Netherlands and your country, Czechia, where the standard of living or your income is lower than it might be in Sweden or in the Netherlands. And did your focus on finance to get the attention and present yourself as a serious party, it resembles kind of in a odd way what happened in Iceland, because when the financial system in Iceland and all the financial fraud that took place there happened, that's when people noticed, oh wait, there's pirates that are taking these things seriously. So there might actually be a similarity between what you just described on finance in your country and on Iceland, and which has
that other countries won't have to go through bankrupt or something like that, so the pirates can emerge. That would be really bad. But yeah, I think that what you described is like, of course, I can tell you some advices, but definitely in the country, there has to be some kind of a setup in society for the society to accept the pirate ideology. Yeah. I think not all the societies are like ready yet, or prepared. So yeah, some parties will have to wait some more, even if they are good and they have quality people,
Yeah, and be ready for that. Also, and that's also something that Ivan said, is we just focus on positive ideas, how we're going to change this thing for us as a community or as a group or as a country, rather than focus on what's going wrong and all the things that are bad. So people tend to find it easier to connect when you have a positive message rather than when you're focusing on the negativity.
Yeah, and especially in Czech Republic, in the last few years, I think especially the populists and extremists were focusing only on the negative, either fear or negative campaign against other parties, like they are incompetent, and even bizarre things like sponsored by Soros and stuff like that. And I think that people are already overfed with this negative campaigning, and we are already running a positive campaign only for 2 years, or 2 elections, the national ones last year and the municipal ones this year. And I think people are really glad, and I've heard a lot of comments on that already, like that they are glad that we are focusing only on the positive. So yeah, that brings fruits too.
Yeah. But maybe that this is also some kind of a disease for small new parties, also in Holland, where people, when you explain to them about Pirate Party, their first reflex would be, oh, you're against copyright. And then you would go, no, go to our website. The first thing you will read there is we're in favor of free information. We're in favor of stuff rather than opposing stuff. But you have to overcome all that standard negativity approach that's all through.
Yep.
So, will you be running for European Union elections then?
Like the party or myself?
Well, both. No, I was talking about party, but feel free to answer it however you like.
Well, as a party, we will definitely run. We are actually hoping for, well, I don't want to be too, I don't want to have big eyes, but we hope for like 3 to 5 MEPs. So I think that if we don't mess up anything in the parliament, national one, it might be actually, possible. I'm actually preparing the campaign right now, and we will know our top 5 candidates in January. So then we will promote them.
Any changes to the campaigning that you did over the past couple of months going forward? What are the lessons learned that you're taking away?
Well, definitely we need to work more on our work with people, because there has been a lot of elections in recent months and years, and people are, of course, and very naturally exhausted. Plus, nowadays we have like 800 members and 350 or maybe 400 people in some political position thanks to these municipal elections. So they won't really have time for another elections. We need to really work on this, I think, especially in the context of our, campaigning and managing things. We need to hire people that are really sensitive to what people need and how to motivate them, not just exploit them, And I think otherwise we'll do it pretty much the same as we did last 2 times.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But also we won't focus that much on the fact that it's European elections, because unfortunately I'm really sad about this fact, but it's a fact. It's like second-rated elections for a lot of people. In Czech Republic, it's like 18% turnout, which is terrible.
Yeah.
So we actually want to focus not only on the program itself, like, of course, we are going to have a great program, come on, European program, and then some priorities, but also on the motivation itself for people to get up and go vote in the European elections, explaining why is it important via our top candidates, because if we manage to get up at least even 1% of people more, is actually a lot of votes, and it might be a lot of votes for us also. So it will be kind of different, because we are not usually focusing on non-voters in other elections, because it's like 60% turnout, we can't hope for more. But in these elections, it will be not only program and candidates, but also the turnout. We want to do something.
You have a unique situation now where you have overcome the people not knowing Pirate Party. You have overcome that. So pretty much everybody knows now that they exist, and you've got a couple of months to show what you're worth. So all you need to do is get them out of their houses come March next year, or whenever the elections are. Okay. Anything other countries can do to help you guys in your European Union election next year? Can we help?
Well, you're already helping by being part of the whole global movement. And I hope that I will see you at least on PPIGA or PPEUGA. That will be, I will send more info about it. Yeah. But we are now working, on the Common European Elections Program. We had a meeting in Barcelona, as you probably know, and work on that, and we are finishing it. And I hope that by the end of the year it will be done, which is like a huge, help. And because not only we have a common ground on which to build on, and when more pirates, not only from the Czech Republic, will get into the European Parliament, we will support each other, because we worked on the program together. But it's also a good, message to everyone, to people, even to media, that we are really together, a strong force, something that is not so usual on the European level, and that we are Europeans, not, Czechs, Netherlanders. We are also Europeans.
Yes.
Which I think is important.
Yeah, we're proud of you. Okay. Marketa, any last thoughts that you want to share?
Well, my last thought would be, don't you ever give up. Activism is exhausting, and we know it, I know it. And of course, you can take pauses. Sometimes some priorities are more important. But I think that when you have activism here, you will never leave it. So take whatever pauses you need. Never give up. It's worth it. It's really worth it. And we need to stay strong and connected.
Congratulations on your victory. Excellent. Thanks for this conversation, Marketa Gregorova of the Pirate Party in the Czech Republic. Thank you and well done. Take
Thank
care.
you for everything.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.